You guys, it is that time of year. It is time for me to declutter my wardrobe and take you guys along with me. Just like after I had Aaliyah, this is definitely the time in my life where I feel like my style changes the most and I'm really trying to rediscover kind of how it is that I want to dress. And let's just say my closet needs it. Why don't you say we start with the tops, shall we? Just glancing over at this, I already see so many items that I definitely bought into that honestly, I don't even think that I like, which I think is so crazy how ecstatic you could be about something when you get it, but then it just sits and sits and sits in your closet, collecting dust, never to be worn. I'm just ready to cleanse myself of everything that's just not me anymore. That's the old Hayley. So if you're gonna be doing this with me, grab a pen and paper because I'm gonna let you guys know of so many different tips that I use when going through my closet and helping your decision making in terms of what to keep and what to get rid of, because sometimes it's really hard to get rid of certain clothing items. But if you guys apply these tips, it will definitely help you do so. So as I go through these, I'm going to be applying one of my favorite tips, which is adding the 6-month rule. With each piece you grab, you're going to be asking yourself, is this something that I've worn in the last 6 months? If your answer is yes, then that's great. And if not, you have to ask yourself, is this something you're going to be wearing in the next 6 months? This is kind of my golden rule in helping you decide what to keep and what to sell. Hayley circa 2020, I would say, was very much obsessed with buying graphic t-shirts, especially cropped graphic t-shirts. So this striped Tommy tee right over here, I used to like the colorway and I really liked the Tommy jeans logo, but I have to admit it's just sitting in my closet for too long, and I think the reason as to why is it's just so busy. If this was a plain white tee with the graphic, I definitely would have kept it, but the fact that it has a color, it's already pink, and on top of that it's also got a pattern. Since it's a striped t-shirt, it's really hard to pair a piece like this with everyday basics. So because this is something I haven't worn in the last 6 months, it's already a good indication that I probably won't wear it in the next 6 months. The next thing you're going to want to ask yourself, is this something that I'm comfortable with wearing? Is the fabric itchy? Is it stretchy? Does it feel nice on my skin? Or on the other hand, is this something that you appropriately feel comfortable on your body? So for example, something that Hayley used to love and currently does not anymore is crop tops. If you've seen my latest Thrift With Me video, you know that I went thrifting for more modest outfits. Again, it's definitely a personal preference. It's what I feel the most comfortable in. As much as I'm still okay to wear shirts that are sleeveless, things with like super thin spaghetti straps like this, or ones that come up so cropped that they're pretty much like a little bra top, is not necessarily something that I see myself styling anymore. There are definitely some exceptions. Obviously the top I'm wearing is technically a crop top, but because it's a little bit longer, I'm able to pair it with a higher waisted pair of trousers, and that way you're not actually showing any midriff even though your top is a little bit shorter. So being true to myself, are crop tops something that I feel comfortable wearing? Definitely not anymore. So it's for sure one of those trends that I'm going to pass on. Another aspect of if something is comfortable has to do with what it's made of and how it sits on you. So this top, for example, it's actually from Sunday Best that I thrifted. I just really like the pattern of this, the green check, but I do have to admit, this top, it just feels super bulky on me, not flattering, and I just don't like how boxy it makes me feel. I mean, just definitely no. I tried styling it in so many different ways, which is another good reason to be able to let it go. So the next thing you're gonna want to ask yourself is, how versatile is this piece? Is this something that you can wear time and time again, or is it something that you can really only make one outfit with because it's such a showstopper? This one's a great example. Like, was I trying to be a Yeti or something? I don't know, but I remember thrifting this when the whole kind of like cowgirl western vibe was the biggest trend. This is definitely one of those pieces that is just sitting in my closet because it's not versatile, because it's such a showstopper in a way that it's always going to be recognizable, and because there's just so much going on with the texture, you can't really pair it with that many items, at least in outfits that I personally would wear. On top of that, this is a perfect example of something that I was influenced to buy because I saw this Pinterest picture and I'm like, oh yes, this girl looks awesome. I love the whole western vibe on her, which is always something important to keep in mind. When you yourself are going and saving inspo, whether it be Pinterest or Instagram, you always want to make sure that you're saving outfits that you yourself would genuinely wear and then walk out the door, because there's so many cute outfits on Pinterest you can get inspo from and that you love, but if you would actually wear them is a completely different question. So with that piece, we're going to segue into our next huge tip. You're going to ask yourself with every single item, is this something that is genuinely your style? Personal style does not have to fit in a box. You don't have to stick to one aesthetic, you don't have to stick to one color scheme or one type. So here's a piece that I'm sure a lot of you guys have in your own wardrobes that many of us just got because it was the biggest trend and we were definitely influenced to buy into, and that is the whole Argyle trend. I thrifted this Brandy Melville sweater because I want to say a little over a year ago, preppy style was like the biggest trend, but as this was hanging in my closet, there was not one instance that I actually put it on myself, and I just realized that it was because preppy outfits just genuinely are not my style. This is a perfect example of you being influenced to like something because the looks amazing on somebody else. But whether I would copy and paste that outfit on myself, no, I was never inclined to do so. But then again, there are some aspects of preppy style that I may like, and that is sweater vests. I call this my grandpa chic sweater vest. It's from Polo Ralph Lauren. I got it for like $3, and whenever I wear it, I just feel really comfy, really cozy, and very much me, which is how this is kind of a perfect example of how your style should not be closed off in a nutshell. Argyle print and preppy style, I don't love. Sweater vests, I do. And here's another example of something that I was influenced to buy because it was just trendy at the moment. The whole tie-dye with the contrast stitching, like this was definitely something that was considered to be super trendy around COVID time. And every time I look at it now, it just reminds me of fast fashion, which I really don't like because all of these micro trends are cycling in and out so quickly. I think I had this sitting in my closet for about 2 weeks before it went out of style technically. I think I only got it because I saw it everywhere. You gotta stop doing that, Hayley. Another big reason that it can be really hard to declutter things in your wardrobe is because your clothes are just full of your fantasy self. What do I mean by that? Sometimes there are just certain pieces that you pick up for your wardrobe that you say, oh my gosh, this is for Hayley the Pinterest girl. This is for Hayley going on vacation in Paris. And this is so important for you to realize. If you find that in your closet you have certain pieces that you're kind of saving for this fantasy version of yourself, you kind of got to give yourself a reality check and see if this is something genuine to you. So for example, I was definitely influenced and so inspired by so many people who were like going to Paris wearing these super like romantic, lacy, very out there pieces that I thought was like really nice and chic. I mean, here's a perfect example. This is like a regular top that I thrifted, but genuinely guys, this looks like a piece of lingerie. And the same thing goes for all of these like corset, really tight kind of tops. This is really not something that is genuine to me. And I'm also kind of analyzing my lifestyle and saying, is there really an occasion that I can wear something like this and I won't feel uncomfortable or too out there? Not really. So that doesn't say that you can't have a fantasy version of yourself. Just make sure that you're dressing realistically to what you're comfortable with. But because I am genuinely such a fan of lace, I think that there's a way that I can wear a piece like this that won't feel super provocative. One of those things I can do is actually just go ahead and pair it with a black turtleneck underneath, or even a white one too. That way I still get the beautiful texture of the top, but I'm wearing it in combination of something that I personally feel comfortable with. But something that I do want to bring up, it is actually totally okay to still wear pieces that you don't wear often, but you just think are prized possessions in a way. I mean, because I thrift a ton, sometimes I find things that I just genuinely get very connected to. So this leather fringe jacket right here, I absolutely love it. This is one of those pieces that I just think are super cool. I would love to keep and pass down to my daughters one day because this is definitely a trend that's going to be coming back, and I know that I'm going to regret letting it go at some point. I just think that a lot of people kind of shame themselves into keeping things that they don't always wear, but there's nothing wrong in keeping a piece that just gives you joy for some reason. But if you do feel like you're at a point where decluttering is a must, something else you want to keep in mind is how practical is this for where you live. I mean, what I loved about living in Canada is that we got to experience every single season, so I was able to have summer clothes as well as winter clothes, fall, spring. We had it year round. What I'm noticing here in Florida is that my sweaters and my knits really remain untouched because of the fact that we have hot weather 90% of the time here. So this is only a couple of the knits when I have so many more in my wardrobe that I just genuinely don't need, because honestly just looking at these I'm already breaking a sweat. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are guilty of this as well, buying clothes that just don't suit your climate. The only reason that I'm allowing myself to keep it is because we often go visit my family in Canada, and there it's cold 98% of the time. So that's reason enough for me to keep these. Another reason as to why your closet is probably a cluttered mess is because you're just buying too much of the same thing. So as you guys can see, Hayley loves flannels and loves button downs, and as much as these ones are in different colors, sometimes I realize I just get pieces that I don't necessarily need. If I have something in a similar color scheme, in a similar style, I don't need too much of it. So this one, for example, it's a pattern and a texture that I just don't really wear that often, and it's too similar to so many of the other button downs I already have. Going forward, I personally want to try really thrifting things that are more classic, just like this, white button downs, blue button downs, tan ones that are solid colors that are just so much easier to pair on top of an outfit, especially if, like me, you want to dress a little more modestly. If you have a really nice top underneath but you feel like it's exposing your shoulders too much, throwing over one of those button downs is a really great way to make it modest, but adding another layer makes it more stylish. And before moving on to bottoms, the last thing that I want to reiterate is don't get rid of things just because they are technically out of trend if it's something you love. So denim jackets, I don't really see them as much now, but I personally have always been a denim jacket girl. I love them. I feel like they're the easiest thing to throw on, and genuinely probably the warmest thing that I can possibly wear here in Florida. This one I've worn so much. It's from Princess Polly, and then this Levi's jacket I thrifted from a ThredUp. I love the structure of them and how they look as well. And as much as it's something that's not trending, I'm not gonna get rid of it just because not everybody's wearing it right now, because it's one of those things that I feel like is genuine to my style. I'm really literally breaking a sweat over here. But onto bottoms. That means pants, jeans, one-piece outfits, skirts, and dresses. So rather than just telling you guys what I'm decluttering, I'm also gonna let you know what I've personally been loving. One of the things that I love so much have been one-piece outfits. Pretty much some standalone pieces that I can use for a base of an outfit. So we have like athletic wear like this with the wide leg bottom. I mean, I love these so much as a base outfit. You could throw it on with a button down, put on some sneakers. So comfortable, but such a cute look. Just seems like you put a lot more thought into it. During my pregnancy, again, one-piece outfits were just something that I just wore all the time because it was just so easy. It was very accommodating for the belly bump, and you only really have to accessorize with like some jewelry, maybe a jacket for it to be a full look. And one of my ultimate favorites lately have been overalls. I always thrift my overalls. I don't think I ever bought a pair brand new. This Tommy one, honestly, I haven't worn it as much as I'd like because I prefer a longer pant overalls rather than shorts. But again, it's just one of those pieces that I need to keep in my wardrobe. I'm definitely going to be passing this down to a Leo one day. But otherwise, overalls like this, a pair of denim overalls, a pair of khaki overalls, I mean, there's nothing better than these. You can wear a tank top underneath. My favorite is an oversized t-shirt or a tight fitting t-shirt. I wore that in one of my recent videos and I absolutely love the way that this looks. Definitely more of like a casual style, but this feels like Hayley to a T. So on the other hand, something that is super impractical, I don't see myself wearing, and I was definitely influenced to buy, was pleather pants. The crazy thing is that I actually bought these two pleather pants when I moved to Florida. I'm sweating just holding this. I can't even imagine wearing this. I personally do really like high-rise wide leg pants. That's a trend that still feels very me to my core, and I just feel like it's something I bought into because it was hyped at the moment. But why did I get this knowing that I live here in Florida? I don't even know. Here's an alternative to pants just like those. They are still high-rise and they are still wide leg, but they're a ribbed material. This is so much more practical, so much more something that is me. All right, also, I know you only see 4 pairs of denim over here. I have a ton more jeans, except these are the only 4 that currently fit me for my current body size. But if you're someone who's clearing out your denim, here are a few tips I have for you if you want to go declutter some of the jeans that you have. First, look at the color. I think that the wash of the jean is super important because as a base, if you want to pair a top with a pair of jeans, you need the washes to complement each other. Denim comes in different fits, different sizes, different colors. And my best tip to you is to go ahead and keep a pair of denim if it actually has unique qualities compared to other denim in your closet. So as you can see, all of this denim, all of them are different shades. So I can wear all of them in different type of looks. At the same time, they all have different details. This one has rips in the knees, so it's more casual. This one is just one solid pair of jeans. This one over here is a true high rise for when I want to wear shirts that are more cropped. And then this one is a mid to low rise that I would wear with longer shirts, and it's also slightly cropped at the ankle. So if I was to wear a higher pair of sneakers, this is the jeans that I would pair it with. So keeping that in mind, if you are decluttering your denim, look at these characteristics: color, cut, length, and rise. You want to make sure that all your denim is kind of unique in all of these categories, and then that way you have so much different versatile pieces without having too much of the same. Here's another example. I personally have really been loving cargo pants. Everything cargos I love because they're so baggy, they are so comfortable too. So I just do my best to make sure that I have a bunch of cargos that are all the same style but have different characteristics. I have a pair of cargo that's navy, I have one that is green, I have one that has no pockets on it, and then some that has more, and then one with some texture as well. So if you love something, feel free to love it. Just make sure that each of the pieces have different characteristics. Like I mentioned to you guys before, in the whole preppy style, little mini skirts, especially plaid mini skirts like this, again, as much as I sometimes imagine my fantasy self as being one of these Pinterest girlies, I don't ever gravitate towards something like this because it doesn't feel genuine to me. Every time I'd bend down, I'd be paranoid. It's not a flexible material, so it kind of keeps me in too tight. So for those reasons, I'm letting go of this one. By the way, I know I didn't mention what I'm doing with all of these clothes. I'm not going to be just donating them. A lot of them are really great condition and really great trends that you may still like. So at some point, I do want to go ahead and post them to sell either on Poshmark or do a live sale on whatnot. But you guys will just have to be a bit patient with me. I just don't have the time right now to go and post everything, especially because, as you guys know, or maybe you don't, Erin and I, my husband, are actually launching a jewelry brand this upcoming Tuesday, you guys. HAYLO Collections is going live. If you guys don't know, here's a little blurb. We actually designed some pendant necklaces that are a way that you can wear your story. I'm gonna leave this video link down below. You can go ahead and check it out. But it's a 24 karat gold vermeil chain, and I'm actually wearing the one with the 2 girl pendants just to symbolize my 2 daughters. This way I can always keep them close to my heart. We're just so excited for that launch, and with Mother's Day coming up, we're gonna have a promo where for the first 2 days, if you buy, you're gonna get guaranteed delivery by Mother's Day. It's basically taking up a lot of our time, which is why selling these clothes is gonna be our next priority. And lastly, I'm gonna be decluttering my closet of some things that I actually was wearing just because I was pregnant, but not being pregnant, I probably wouldn't reach for it as much. I have all these ribbed dresses, which honestly could still be super cute. I just don't see myself reaching for for them anymore, but they were the best thing to wear in pregnancy because they were super stretchy and amazing for the growing belly. So this is one of those pieces I'm for sure going to be putting away in storage because it's not that I don't want it at all anymore. Maybe for my next pregnancy. Give me a minute, you guys. That is not some kind of hint that another pregnancy reveal is coming or something. But that looks like that's the final thing that I'm going to need to declutter to make some space for everything new that I'm going to be thrifting. I didn't show you every single item because that would have taken forever. If you guys do want to see a whole me trying everything on in my closet, let me know down below. On top of that, stay tuned because now that I decluttered a lot of the things that I'm not loving so much anymore, I created an entire list of things that I notice I do love. And I want to go ahead and take you guys shopping along with me. When I'm going to the thrift stores or looking for things on ThredUp or just doing some online shopping, I'm going to keep a lot of this stuff in mind, and I think that should be the next video in this series. Thank you guys for watching. If you are watching up to this point, you're the real MVP. We love the ones that stick around all the way to the end. If you are watching up to this point, comment down below starting fresh because that's really what we're doing here, guys. If you have any personal tips yourself that help you in decluttering your closet, let us all know down below so we can all chat about it together. I love you guys forever and always. Be sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Happy decluttering!